Hi everyone, I'm Surendran and I am going to talk about how we are all activists or how we can all be activists under Democracy 2.0. For the first slide, good old Otto from Chennai. How many of us have been to Chennai and know how good an experience it is to try and hire an auto in Chennai? Have you ever experienced it? Yeah. Just hang on to that thought, we'll come back to this a little later. So, democracy, it's not just about electing our representatives, some of whom fight with chairs and break mics and of late started carrying pepper sprays to the parliament, but it is also about engaging with the leaders, political leaders and business leaders and our representatives at different places. India might be the oldest or the biggest democracy in many ways, but it is not without its challenges. And we deal with these challenges by engaging with our leaders, our decision makers in various spheres. And 10 seconds. Yes, you are an activist. Is everyone an activist here? Yeah? You basically, if you want to do something to bring about whatever social, political, whatever change you want to bring about, you are an activist. The internet, Web 2.0, social media, whatever we call it, makes it easier or effective probably. So what does it do? What does the internet do? It one gives you a lot of information and knowledge. It also gives you the tools to mobilize a lot of people and collectively engage with your decision makers. And I'm going to share a few stories. I work at Change.org. We see examples of these every day. So yes, decision makers, be it politicians, business leaders or everyone, they are nobody if they don't have us. So basically it's people need to realize that they own the debate, and that's what Democracy 2.0 is all about. So these are some examples of issues that we see at Change.org on what kinds of issues people raise and how many people support some of these things. The first one is, of course, Half One campaign, but 83,000 people wanted to see these three people talk before the elections. And these are not just petitions, you get responses in many forms. The one on the left is the officers from the Bangalore Metropolitan Transport Corporation responding to a request to extend the bus timings beyond midnight. And here is another campaign that is targeted at Shashi Tharoor. So I wanted to share a few stories of how some of these campaigns have been successful. This is what Sir was talking about. RTI was a powerful tool. The Central Information Commission said political parties should get covered under the RTI Act, and the politicians said we will amend the RTI Act. So NCPRI is an organization, a coalition of a lot of seasoned people who have been fighting for various rights. They started a campaign. Several lakh people signed the petitions, called the members of the parliament, and they did everything. And after a month of campaigning, this is what we did. It's a triumph of people power, which means basically the government deferred the amendment. It's ironical that CNN-IBN calls it triumph of people power because there was complete media blackout for this campaign. It was 100% raw people power that stopped it. We are in the election season, so the second story is about elections. India has about 23 lakh armed forces personnel that work in different companies and different army, navy, everything. But most of them have never voted. I'm sure Sir would agree with that. Most of them have never voted because the election commission does not give them good facilities so that they can cast their vote wherever they are. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, an independent member of the parliament, he started a campaign. 77,000 people joined the campaign from the internet on using mobile phones and stuff. And the election commission has done something, and it's a fight in progress. One of the interesting things in this campaign was the use of mobile phones. So we set up a system where you basically give a missed call, and that gets counted as a signature, and thereby increasing engagement with the decision maker who is the election commission. Talking about mobile phones, it's a whole new fascinating world. About 22 million people in India access internet using broadband, but 188 million people in India access internet using mobile phone. It's a whole new world of opportunities on how we deepen democracy or deepen engagement. Coming back to the auto rickshaws, everyone, or at least people who have been in Chennai, know it's a horrible experience trying to hire an auto rickshaw. There is never a system. But the reason why there is never a system is the fares, auto fares were never revised properly to keep tune with the rise of petrol prices. It was a problem for 3 decades until Prahlad, a doctor from Chennai, he decided to do something about it. He started a campaign. About 60,000 people supported him. But the good thing is, within a month, the government recommended new prices. So it was all over the media. Times of India also ran a campaign. This is a comparative story of how in 2012 there was no meter, and by the end of 2013 we had a working system. And today, if you go to Chennai, you can happily, without any questions or doubts, step into an auto and it will run by meter. And it is all because one citizen decided to do something about it and mobilize a lot of people around it. And that is what Democracy 2.0 is about, where with the help of the information and the tools, you mobilize people to reach out to your decision makers and engage with them. So I thought it would be a funny way to end this presentation, which is use the internet, you use mobile phones, you raise issues, and yeah, well, thank you.